Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Um, so I'm back for another episode of Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 22, Red Flags. The, truth be told, the whole show could be named Red Flags. I mean, like the entire series. Anyway, so we'll just go piece by piece, group by group, friend by friend, relationship by relationship. Okay, so Amber's getting an abortion. Okay, and we know the Amber puppy triangle with, their boyfriends, but they were girlfriends at once. And even unintentionally, I think showing this on TV was important. How difficult it is for women to be able to get an abortion, even when it is related to your medical health. That you have to drive from Georgia to North Carolina stressed, ill, and it causes you to go away from the people who may have been able to make it to support you if it was local, like her mother, as opposed to being able to travel to North Carolina and miss work. There's a lot of factors, and so people need to think about that. Anyway, she has to travel to North Carolina because there's an issue with her liver, and they don't think she'll be able to carry well. Queen and Queen, I wasn't sure if it was Queen's friend or brother or whoever it was. The black guy that she really obviously doesn't know well, because he asked in the car when she brought up TC, he was like, "Is that your boyfriend?" Like, he didn't know, but he's the one driving her there. I think TC is full of shit. Okay, we can't pretend like that episode before, where he was like, "I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in that." Well, you know what? This is the problem with people. I don't believe in abortion, this, that, and the other, and then something like that happens to you. It becomes really real then, how abortion affects people's lives, how necessary it may be in some cases, and how it's a personal decision. All right? Anyway, so, and he said it was because it's killing a baby. So it's now convenient to have an abortion with her life. Do you see how difficult of a decision that is to make, TC? I hope you adjust your thinking on that. Anyway, and we know he won't. I'm from Georgia. I know how. Never mind. Good start. He wanted an abortion when it was convenient, but he's also one of those people who probably voted against it in the state of Georgia. And that's what I don't like. Queen and her friend drove her up there, and that was one of those times where I think you need to realize who your true friends are. You could tell she was not feeling well. She was sad. She was stressed. He didn't do a lot to support her. I was like unclear on why the hell he couldn't take her. Somebody having to work is not enough. That was your baby too. And when she's calling you looking for support, you can't even ask her how she's doing. Amber had every right to be pissed off on that phone. Eventually, she comes back from North Carolina. Queen, shout out to you. You a hell of a friend. So back to North Carolina, she tells Puppy. I mean, gosh, could it have been more coincidental them getting pregnant at the same time? And, Puppy tries to offer her as much support as possible and just says, look, I would have loved to have been able to support you. And Amber had said she wasn't sure what Puppy could offer at that point. And I thought it was heartwarming to hear Puppy go, well, you know what? Both our babies are together. They're in the same place. They're in heaven. And, I'm not going to push anything here because I feel for women, as I've said in previous videos, where they go through that. We can laugh and talk about this stuff any other time, like these kind of shows, but I don't want to beat up on anybody. I hope that Amber's health gets better and that she'll also find somebody else, because I don't think TC's the one. So I'll just leave it there. Okay, Brittany and Marcelino. Ciao. Let me tell you something. Brittany and Marcelino comes home, I guess, home, because it's loose right now. And Brittany is like, you've been cheating on me, you've been lying to me, this, that, and the other. And he started talking, and she said, take those glasses off when you're talking to me. And I was like, Brittany, you took the words right out of my mouth, because that was all kinds of evasive, and he was not acting like a husband talking to his wife, whether y'all divorced yet or not. But they're not, because we already saw the end. All right, I died when he was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? She said, oh, you said you don't have a fake Instagram account, Mr. Meek Mill 45. When I heard that name, I said, Marcelino, that was the best you could do. Baby, next. So she's crying. She's throwing shit all over the house. She's giving him garbage bags for his stuff. really sorry that Brittany feels this way. I'm even sorrier that her feelings about this is playing out on television. But that threesome was the nail in the coffin. I'm sure they had problems before. I don't know how aware Brittany was about these affairs. It seems a little, um, but Brittany, you brought that to the forefront. You pushed it, and then you mad that he had sex with her without you. I just feel like I don't understand people who say that. Well, it's okay as long as I'm there. That to me is a deeply insecure response. You don't feel like you are worthy. You feel like he won't want you unless you do things, and that's some BS. And you need to work on yourself at that point. Okay, but I really think Brittany had a sexual attraction to her. She whooped her ass not only because she slept with her husband, but because she still has a sexual attraction to her and felt like her friend was cheating on her. That's what I'm just gonna say. Marcelino apologized. He took responsibility over the phone, of course, because she had thrown them garbage bags out and kicked him out the house. Brittany says she doesn't trust him. It's rough. But my thing is, like, what did you expect? Like, nothing good ever comes from those. It doesn't. Certainly not in a marriage. But anyway, we hear that they moved to Florida for a fresh start. They're still together. I just, never mind. Brittany, Marcelino, I just don't want them on the show anymore. I don't. We've seen enough. We get it. Next, Taylor and Chance. So, they're getting ready for their gender reveal. And as far as Taylor is concerned, she sees this as a compromise to a wedding. Honestly, a lot of people have a gender reveal in the, never mind, as a compromise to a wedding. But anyway, because he wants to get married so bad, and she's like, I'm just not ready. And I think, Taylor, shout out to you. If you are not ready to get married, don't. A baby does not mean you need to get into a legal, binding contract with somebody who can't even explain to you how much money they're spending and why and where it's going. For example, she has to keep asking him to get ready for the gender reveal. He has this blue jacket for him and a pink jacket for her. And she asked him, she said, how much did you spend on these? And here he begins with his gaslighting. He was like, you don't have to begin conversations about money. Like, you can't put limitations on me. She can if you ain't bringing in X amount of money to cover this stuff and y'all had 3 kids and one on the way. So that to me already screams immaturity. It's about him. It's about me. It's about me. It's about me. Um, so I'm just like, what is going $150 for them cheap jackets they had on? Anyway, I, I am clear. I'm sorry. Chance, with me looking at him, his behavior to me appears to be emotionally abusive. Now, I'm not saying he is. We know this is reality TV. We know people can chop things up. But it appears the way he talks to her, the way he gets aggressive with her when she doesn't really raise her voice at all, and she just kind of seems sad a lot of times. Just something about him does not seem like he really cares and loves about her. And it feels like whatever she does kind of for him, he doesn't really appreciate it. It's just weird. But he starts gaslighting her. Taylor, you're smart not to get married to him. They do the DNA test. He gets the results. He pulls up in his red truck. He's the father. Duh. We saw this coming. I didn't think for a second that he wasn't the father. The baby is going to be a boy. Wonderful. Taylor, I don't want to see you next season. And the reason why I don't want to see you next season is because I want better for you. I want you to not be with somebody after lockup like this, especially somebody like him. I wish you well. I hope you have a healthy pregnancy. They said she's due in November. All right, Deontay and Lindsay. Is it just me or the way that they chopped this show up? It's like a few days have gone by, if that, and then but we don't see it play out until like 3 weeks later. So speaking of wasting money, we were talking about Chance, but Deontay, that rental that he was in, I don't care if it was in Corinth, Mississippi or not. It looked really expensive for one person to be staying in an Airbnb. You couldn't have found nothing. Never mind. She had sex with Blaine the night her and Deontay had that big fight. Most likely, I suspect she had been having sex with Blaine plenty of times before. I'm just saying. They spent a little too much time together. They lived together. They shared space. I mean, come on. I was not born yesterday. All right. Um, why did Blaine drive her to Deontay's house? Like, I just felt like the whole setup was designed to create conflict, right? And we can say the producers, this, that, and the other. Blaine could have stayed home. Deontay ain't tough like that. And you would think if Deontay was any kind of man, he would have asked her, why is he here? Why are you disrespecting me like this? With this man, I caught you kissing and I thought we had something. Okay? So I'm gonna be honest, when she was like, look, it just didn't work out, she's giving her whole little spew. I feel like Deontay in particular, if this was a black woman, because it was clear to me Lindsay fetishized him as a black man. And he seems to be infatuated with white women who are ex cons. Okay, WeTV showed us that when they gave us the background. Okay, he would have called her everything but a child of God. He would have been fighting mad. He would have been aggressive, everything else. And I just feel like the whole situation would have been different. I don't think he would have been breaking his neck to buy her stuff. Then she says, well, look, I want to give you this computer back because, look, our relationship didn't work out. It doesn't feel right. Which I will give Lindsay credit for. That is a decent thing to do. It is. But considering all the drug money she got, she probably don't need it anyway. Then I would have taken that shit. Deontay was like, no, I really want you to do something for your future. No, you take that and then you go to your nearest community center uh, after school and donate it to a kid who needs it. Donate it to the YMCA, the YWCA, for whoever needs it. She don't need it. Okay? Anyway, so Deontay, just stop dating convicts, ex-convicts, whoever. That's why you keep getting played. I'm not saying you can't get played in the real world, but like you are dating people who have records of doing things to harm other human beings. Like scam them kind of harm. I mean, not necessarily physically, but nevertheless, you get the point, right? Deontay, get it together. Just get it together. All right. Anyway, so he goes back home, tells his mother. His mother's like, just stop dating these convicts. So then they get this knock at the door. I guess they were trying to convince us that Lindsay popped up after she said, I really love Deontay in the confessional. No, you don't. His mother brought in a girl named Jill. The look on Deontay's face, she said this was the daughter of somebody she works with, and she's a nice girl. She's not an ex-con. And he looked so excited to see that white girl. His whole face was just lit up. His black mama hooked him up with that white girl just to avoid another inmate. And black mamas do not typically do that. Not with their sons. So all I could say was, damn, Deontay, you driving her ragged. And it turns out now he's still single, but he's, not dating cons. And I think he just has a thing for women who don't want him. And that's a whole nother self-esteem issue. Deontay, get off TV. All right, Ray and Brittany. This is one of the fastest weddings I've ever seen. This goes faster than the Bridezilla episodes that cut out in two. All right, anyway, so Brittany, I'm so nervous. I can't believe this day has finally come. And I was like, Brittany, you are full of it, girl. You can't believe you're getting married? You've been begging this man to marry you since we saw you on the show. When he came out. He living with you and you're like, when we get married? When we having a baby? I have to give it to him. When they showed that wedding, Ray was fly though. He was fly for the wedding. He was fly for the reception. Brittany's family clearly has sense. Did you notice how many faces were blurred out at that wedding? They said, y'all not gonna have me on TV looking a fool, and I'm here for it. That's, you know what, Brittany, you may be a little all over the place, but you come from good stock, and I ain't mad. They get married. I mean, best of luck. I hope they do well. I think Ray's a nice guy. Brittany did seem happy in the confessionals, and I really hope that they'll just, go on and do something else, like have a family and just be at peace, and we can forget about them being on the show. All right, Kevin and Kayla and Tiffany, that weird love triangle. First of all, Kevin's delusional. I mean, we hear the term narcissist a lot, but he really is an example of it. He's in the car, I guess, talking to the WeTV camera, but to us, it looked like he was talking to himself. He's talking about how Tiffany blew this out of proportion. Kayla is a dumbass bitch. First of all, I would not want to be with any man who not only refers to me as such on TV or any woman at all. Because to me, you learn a lot about a man by the way he talks about other women, and that should let you know how he will proceed with you. It's not cute, it's not attractive. I find it disrespectful. I bristle every time he does it on TV. I don't know him. Kayla, you need to let it go. Kevin does not have the right to be mad about you cheating on him when like he was in jail or right out of jail, something like that, X amount of years ago, to the point where he's just sleeping with all these women and putting your sexual health at risk. So, um, too bad, Kevin. Look, we all know this shit is fake. Kayla can't act surprised. Kayla is mic'd up. Like, okay, y'all already knew y'all was gonna shoot this scene. And he came to her house, you know what it is. And Kevin is a gaslighter. He's talking about everybody, sees me as a bad guy. And they think you're so innocent. He's telling her this to her face. First of all, he's talking about us. He's talking about people commenting on the internet and social media, people who watch this show every Friday and talk about it on social media, YouTube, or whatever else. That's what he's talking about. They see me as a bad guy because you are. You are. We're not saying Kayla makes strong decisions, but what you're doing is messed up, and you've done it to multiple women. Moving on. Tiffany has found a new guy named Thomas who also has sense because he didn't want his face on his television show, or he's hiding from the police. I don't know. But good for you, girl. You are moving on. You have sense. Kayla's sitting up here in the confessional like, we're going to work on this. And, I was a crazy bitch, and I bristled again. I was like, why are you degrading yourself that way? Don't you have a child? I think it's like a son. You were teaching him that this is an acceptable way to talk about women. And I know it can be hard to break away from relationships when you love somebody or you think you love somebody, but it's giving real. This is going to be a generational problem because you're not willing to nip it in the bud. Speaking of nipping stuff in the bud, Sean and Sarah. Sarah, I actually liked you. I liked you until I saw how you treated Sean's daughter, how you and your mother reacted to her pain and her hurt of being the only girl of like 6 children and him having another girl, and that young lady not having any sort of preparation for that on television, and then y'all kind of treat her like get over it. I lost a lot of respect for you because I actually thought you were somebody who was on your way, who had made a mistake, but you can move on. Destiny, that being said, Sarah, you had every reason to be mad. Destiny called while Sean is at home with his wife Sarah and their newborn baby. Okay, of course Sarah hears the conversation with Destiny when she was talking about you owe me money, this, because the producers make you answer your phone on speaker. We know that house ain't big, and they got microphones all around. So Sean and Destiny argue about whether or not Sean's been giving, her money after they got off the phone with Destiny. I will say Sarah handled it together. She was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Even if she was lying for Sean, because he was dating them both at the same time. She goes, the difference between me and you is that you got out first. That's why he went to you. And I was like, but girl, he was still cheating on you. If that's the case, cut it out. Okay? And that was a mess. Sean, you're a deadbeat. And Sarah, you're a damn fool for thinking that you are any different or any better than Kelly after he had 6 children with her and didn't marry her and neglects his kids and moved away from them for you. Sarah, you are the new Kelly. That's not a reflection on Kelly. It's a reflection on him as a poor father. Moving on. Bronwyn and Chaz. We save the worst for last. I don't want to see them on this show with nobody else. Bronwyn just is so inarticulate. She is inarticulate as fuck. She always seems like her brain is half off. Like, I don't know. Bronwyn, your friend is not your friend. Okay? She done told Chaz your business about how you were back in prostitution, this, that, and the other. Look. Okay, so we obviously know it's true. We saw the computer stuff. She may not be back in it. Maybe her story is true. It's very difficult to believe. How about that? That she was doing this for a friend. She told Chaz all your business. And then told it with her face blotted out on WeTV. Like Bronwyn ain't gonna know which so-called friend this is. She's hanging out with this guy named Yolo, who has all these tattoos all over his face. But they are both clearly on the same educational level because that lack of a conversation they were having, they might as well have been talking in like cave talk. The kind of shit won't nobody understand. Anyway, she's crying with another man and just saying, I just want to be with you. We had this relationship. And Chaz was like, I know who that is. She said she never wanted to be bothered with him again. I know she told you that, Chaz. And he went for it. Now, Chaz sums up their relationship. Chaz said this was a lesson in looking for red flags. He said he learned not to date an inmate or a prostitute. He summed up their relationship by saying he was a John who overpaid for a prostitute. Something he could have gotten cheaper and said, I would leave her a bad Yelp review. Damn. All of this, even as it comes out of my mouth, I realize how dysfunctional all of this is. And then Love During Lockup starts next week. That's going to be another mess. But anyway, so that was the rundown. I'm kind of glad it's over. I don't know what these people are going to do. I kind of want a fresh cast if we're going to look at this foolishness from a new lens and continue to look at it. But anyway, I'll see y'all later. I'll probably post some stuff later. All right. Have a good Saturday.